Welcome back, everybody. We're here for the last round of Swiss. The top 8 was locked up, so we'll be seeing those players in the top 8. So we just picked a random fun table. We found Hammer Time versus Teamer Murktide to see the new sweet deck with a new Questing Druid card.
Yeah, much to my dismay, we're
Yeah.
not going to get to see Teamer in top 8 today, which is
Nope,
a
sad.
real bummer. Definitely my favorite deck.
Deck's really cool.
Yeah, so it's what I would have played today actually if I would have been able to play in this. But fortunately, I queued with Scam last week, so I guess I didn't get an opportunity to play the actual fun deck that exists
darn.
in Modern now. But yeah, it's okay. I'm mostly happy to just not play Modern.
Reasonable.
But yeah, so this will be an interesting matchup, and then we got Hammer Time on the other side, which Hammer
Hammer's
was
good.
pretty good into this room too. A
Yeah.
lot of Tron, a lot of Scam. So, but I don't know. I don't think any Hammer made it to top 8.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, there were 2 in contention.
Yeah, they're doing well for
Nathan
a while.
here was in contention, and Alex
Zoomer.
Summer,
Yep.
was in contention too. But yeah, so this will be fun to watch. Typically, Hammer is pretty good against Murktide, and I think against Team Murktide, it in theory is even better because Team Murktide is slower because of all the draw twos. So
Yep,
we'll see what happens. But Team Murktide does play more Furies, especially post board. I don't know if is Anthony here on the one of main deck Fury like Mengucci was.
No, he's not.
Nope, off the main deck Fury.
It's
How about
2 in the board?
2 in the board. How many bolts are we on? Are we on 3 or 4? 3 bolt.
3 bolt. Yep.
Okay. So, yep. So, not a ton of ways to interact game 1 outside of the bolts and the heats. So, it's going to be pretty important for Anthony to have one of those pretty quickly, and we'll see what happens. I will say it is a pretty good matchup for like the cheap 1-mana counter spells can be good here. Spell Pierce can convert pretty well.
Yep.
Stern Scolding post board can convert very well, and Spell Snare is actually quite good.
Yeah, they have a lot of power twos.
Into
Stoneforge Pure Steel.
Yep, Stoneforge Pure Steel. So
it looks like Hammer's Nathan's on mono white Hammer.
Okay.
Like the black white we saw earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Leon from the Giver's a good start.
Giver is a good start. Not the worst thing for Anthony to see, though.
No.
Happy to avoid the Sigarda's aid, I suppose.
Yeah.
Looks like we got a Darcy, maybe Counterspell was in the hand. Hard for me to tell. And I played this teamer list this week, mostly Mengu's list. I played, there's a main deck Bone Crusher. Interesting. I know Mengu does that. Cool. I cut that for the 4th bolt when I played my thing, but I also played Murktide, so it was more important to like get cards in your yard. And I really just like cheap, like as many cheap cards as you can have with the Questing Druid.
That makes a lot of sense.
But I played this deck in the prelim this week, this Teamer Murktide deck, and I beat Hammer in round 1. So it definitely it can get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that this version has no Murktides in it.
Yep.
Because the one we saw Wharton playing earlier was playing 2 Murktides.
Yep,
over the Shredders.
Wharton was on the Murktides because I told him the Murktides were good.
Sure.
So he did that, and Twinless Twin has been playing Murktide as well. So the people that are playing the deck right now are not sure whether Murktide is good or bad. I believe it's just good. Murktide's such an insane Magic card, dude.
2-mana 8/8 flyer. Like
it's pretty hard to not play that in your deck that siphons through so many spells. But I do get the argument for not playing it. It is an awkward card to hit. To hit on exactly a turn 2 Seek the Beast. But even then, half the time you can still play it anyway. So you play a lot of fetches.
Sigarda's Aid, and they decided to block with a Dragon and we still cast the Hammer.
Huh.
I guess.
Okay. It gets it out of burn spell range.
Gets it out of removal spell range.
I like it. Pretty hard for Murktide to beat in 11-12. We'll see if Anthony has the one of Brazen Borrower. I think that's about the only way we could get out of this.
There's the 1 Borrower.
And that's it.
2 Unholy.
Yeah, double
Delirium and Holy Heat.
Double Delirious and Holy Heat would get there, which would be pretty sick.
It loses to another Hammer or a Shadow's Bear.
We are a little short of Delirium at the moment. We have Creature, Land, and another land in play, so we'll see what Anthony
We'll see what you got.
Yeah, pretty bad spot here for Murktide game 1.
Yep.
This is not what you want to see.
Ooh, another roadblock.
Another chump blocker.
Yep. See what the follow-up is here for Nathan. Pure Steel. All right. So now if we do remove the giver somehow, we can just move the hammer around. Swing for 11.
Yep.
Curious what this could be.
All right. See if Anthony can work his way out of this. It's going to be really hard. Really, really tough.
See that. Heat the Paladin.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. We just not trigger the Darcy. All right.
Missed it. Yep. Okay.
Happens.
It does.
Happens all
Long
the
day.
time.
Long day.
Long day.
Not even in contention for top 8 anymore, so you're probably not even like super zoned in.
No, you're not super invested.
Yeah.
Open Ornithopter.
And you're facing an 11-12. You're
Yeah,
probably not
it's just
super
like-
zoned in, and that's
It's like, damn, do I need this letter
really,
shredder?
really
or-
hard game. Really hard game to win. So I
Mhm.
can in fact just yeah. All right. Okay.
Another one.
Third Darcy. More
I'm
chumps.
just gonna draw that Brazen Borrower, hopefully.
Rough.
I'm gonna tap land and go. Tap land means it doesn't have any draw twos from the questing druid available. Unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just keep on jamming.
Sure.
Ugh, well, yeah. That one.
And now double unholy heat doesn't even kill
Nope.
it. So
Nope, this game is lost now,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's just
sure.
pretty rough. It has to be borrower.
It's gotta
Exactly.
be the
It's the
borrower.
only way out of this. We could have Spell Pierce here, I guess. If we have Spell Pierce,
Yeah.
we counter the Shadow Spear, get a Delirium trigger, or get a Darcy trigger rather. Dig us to that borrower, but it's about all we got.
Yep. Don't have a lot to do here.
And it does appear Anthony may have the Pierce because he
He's pausing.
paused. It's like pretty much zero reason to bluff here. If you have it, you're like always playing it.
Mhm.
So
It's like he's got. I can't tell. This is a bolt.
there is a blue card.
Yeah.
It might be Pierce. Oh no, it's Ledger. Maybe a Ledger. Shredder?
Yeah, it's a ledger shredder, a bolt, and I can't tell what the card on the far right is.
I can't either.
Oh, it
A
might be.
bauble?
No, it looks like a questing druid actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it looks green.
Okay.
Interesting that we didn't. If that is questing druid, I'm interested why we didn't shock.
Here we go.
Okay. Trigger, been a land.
The oh, he didn't block.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay. It's awkward because if we're delirious, we have to attack.
Mm-hmm. Now we have instant land. We still not. Oh, maybe it's
Okay.
a bauble
Okay, we cannot pop that.
No.
If we have to wait,
to a post combat.
yeah, we have to. Although the Shadow Spear is on, so I guess blocking is pretty
Yeah,
irrelevant. We
yeah,
just
it
have to
doesn't
find
matter.
borrower exactly.
Yep. So yeah, maybe you just crack it right now.
Yep. You got to draw borrower. If this is not borrower, we just have to bin it. It's the only card that is acceptable
Yeah,
at the
there's
moment.
no way.
There's any combination.
It's not even an Otawara. We don't have mana for that anyway. But
Yeah, we need a land.
Mm-hmm. Yep, crack
Kept
it.
Maybe means borrower.
Okay.
The literal only card I could think of that would get us back in the game.
Yeah, I can't.
You got to draw. Okay, here it is. Is a borrower. It's like the only thing you would keep, right? I mean, I assume.
Nettle Cyst. Oh my goodness.
Oh god. Yeah, that's pretty good.
What
It's going to be a good alternate way to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're
Just in
taking.
case there was a bar. I don't know why we're pausing here.
I mean, if you got the borrower, you got to do it. If you don't have borrower, I guess you could have exactly heat, bolt, but we know he doesn't have that.
Yeah. Oh, I think because he cracked the bauble in the main phase, I think he had to attack because of delirium. I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's yeah.
I mean, you just take 3. Who cares? Attack. If it's not Brazen
Yeah, there's a
Borrower, it doesn't
Shadow
matter.
Spear. Nothing really matters.
So I think they're just trying to rewind.
Rewind it.
There's not many. I mean, it's
whatever. Just take 3. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Do you have borrower? It looks like yes. He's about to tap 2 mana. Okay. Nope. Maybe it looks like we've already given Nathan the game, so I'm not sure what's happening.
So we can see it.
Maybe.
Huh.
A little weird here. We'll wait and
kind of hard to tell without
see what happens.
Without comms
yep,
at the table. All right,
sure.
we're done. So it was not Brazen Borrower.
Okay.
Interesting. All right.
There is a one-up borrower in the there is.
Yeah, there is a borrower. So going to sideboarding, Nathan. No, so I have Tony. So I have the Murktide sideboard over here. We got 2 Dress Down, 1 Curse Totem, 1 Chalice of the Void, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Engineered Explosives, 1 Fluster Storm, 2 Fury, 1 Alpine Moon, 2 Annul, and 1 Stern Scolding. So they'll probably bring in Stern Scoldings.
Yep.
The EEs are obviously insane. The
yep.
Furies are very good.
Yep.
You can argue Alpine Moon if you care about Saga enough.
Yeah, I'd bring it in.
It's probably good enough.
Yeah, I definitely would want it here. Does he have a null?
He does have 2 annuls.
Yep,
is that artifact or enchantments?
It is.
Okay. Yes,
yeah,
the
so
annul's great here.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did not board them in when I played my prelim, but chat made me aware that was poor.
Because for some reason I thought it was just enchantments.
No, yeah, it's both. So it's
sweet.
Quite insane into like 4 color.
Yeah,
really good,
crazy.
really good find from
Ring,
Mengu.
Wayland Binding.
Yeah, Bean, Binding, and Ring.
Those are all huge hits.
So pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean the Hammer player. I mean we've got 2 needles. Those are probably coming in to check EE. It's typically what players do. 2 Sanctifier and Vex are probably going to come in good against. If you expect Murktide, pretty good against Darcy. Hard to interact with. Just a great thing to throw Hammer on.
Yep.
Solitude, maybe. These lists, a lot of them aren't playing Murktide, so you probably don't need it.
If you see Murktide, then you can think about it, but without it,
There's 2 more Surge of Salvations, which may or may not come in as well. Really good against the Furies that are probably going to come in. So you probably bring in those 6. Ornithopter typically is the cut, I think.
Yeah,
if I know Disgruntled Elk usually boards out Ornithopter in these kind of matchups. So if you follow, he's a really good Hammer player. If you follow what he does, you would do that. And then I think a drum, typically trimming a drum, maybe even both drums. Yeah, stuff like that. You're going to just Paradise Mantle. It'd actually be, I believe, Mantle, 4-Thopter, 1 drum.
Yeah,
would be
right. Yeah,
probably what comes out for those 6.
Like to have the 1 drums because
usually good thing to sometimes get off Saga. Yeah. But we'll see if that's what.
Can't imagine the Bone Crusher Giant stays in on the Murktide side.
Yeah, I mean,
Bone Crusher is not great.
Super awkward. 2 mana to kill your thing is pretty embarrassing, and at half the time won't even kill their thing. So, but you may just leave it in because it interacts.
Yeah,
hard to say.
No steps on it. It kills Pure Steel still.
Yep. I would board out every copy of Counterspell.
Counterspells seem horrendous.
One of my
How do you feel about
favorite
Spell
board
Pierce? Spell Pierce fine?
Spell Pierce is mediocre. I think you're upgrading when you bring in the Scoldings and the Nulls. So I would imagine they get cut.
Yeah, that makes sense.
7 1-mana counterspells is probably well over more than enough. It's hard with these questing druid decks because you really don't want that many counterspells in your deck because you do not want to seek into counter magic. That's why when I played the deck this week, I was down to 2 counterspell.
Sure.
Mengu was on 3 counterspell. I believe Twinless Twin is still on 4 counterspell. So it's kind of up in the air about how many you're supposed to play. But I personally like playing less counter magic if I'm seeking the beast. Because at the end of the day, the deck does want to be able to seek the beast on turn 2. Like the deck is, if you're playing Questing Druid, you definitely want to be able to do that on turn 2. You already can't really EI on turn 2, so there are a lot of games you just kind of have to Questing Druid on turn 2.
Yep.
You definitely want to get a 3-for-1 off it as often as possible. One thing Twin has been doing that I do kind of like is main deck subtlety, force negation kind of stuff. I do like that with Questing Druid because free spells obviously pretty good with
Questing Druid in general, and also even better with Questing Druid.
So I think that's an interesting direction.
Absolutely.
But that's what Fury is doing too, which Twinless Twin did not, I think, have any main deck Furies. So wanted to be able to interact on the stack a little more.
Fair.
All right, so shuffling up.
I guess we got to play this game, so it might be scammed by that turn 2 11 power creature.
Yep, definitely going to be a better spot being on the play, certainly. And we have a lot of good impactful sideboard cards, so I'm curious to see where it goes. I will say one thing about Spell Pierce. It is a fairly good check to Surge of Salvation, so that is one interesting thing about Spell Pierce. I can definitely see it staying in, but
we'll there's arguments both ways. I could be convinced either way.
Yeah. A lot of players will board out Ragavan in these matchups. I think you're supposed to keep it, especially in Murktide. I think the mana acceleration is just huge.
Sure.
Especially on the play.
Especially, and now that you have Seek the Beast, so just like
more
things
that
to
mana,
do with
that mana is pretty crucial. But I think on the draw, cutting them is fine. But it's also a red card to pitch to Fury, which is super relevant too.
True.
Because when you think about it, there are like no other red cards you actually actively want to pitch to Fury.
Yeah,
because all of them
Dragon's
are
Rage,
one
bolts, heats. Yeah. Hammer going down to 6. It's not too uncommon.
Yeah, pretty typical. Yep. Stack the mulligan fairly aggressively. Very good at mulliganing.
Yep.
Turns out when your land is a 3-for-1, you can mulligan.
Yeah, your land's a 3-for-1. You're a pretty A plus B deck. You don't need a whole lot.
Yep.
To kill them.
Have really impactful spells like Sanctifier and Beck.
Yep. Don't need a whole lot to win the game.
Another thing we didn't talk about that I think you can do very easily too is trim on, like, in this matchup, you could trim on Questing Druid EI effects. You don't want too much of that.
Right.
You don't want to spin your wheels.
Yeah, you're not trying to grind super late.
No. It's another really nice thing about the deck, including Questing Druid, is in matchups where you need to do that, it's a lot easier to do it now. You can board out either EI or Questing Druid, depending on what you want, what you think is more important. EI pitching to Fury is pretty big here, so maybe that EI is actually better than Seek the Beast, but
Steel Shapers, Sigarda's Aid. Get rid of a Forge New. It's like maybe a little land light hands. That makes sense. There's a Saga. Saga's always good.
Saga turn 1.
Saga on 1. All right. Ornithopter. Sure. Interesting that we had the Sigarda's Aid in hand too. It just didn't play.
Yeah. So I imagine the reason for waiting is you don't want to walk it into Pierce, and you want to just like hammer up next turn potentially if there's a hammer in hand.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
There's a Steel Shaper's Gift.
There's a Steel Shaper's Gift, a Surge of Salvation.
Yeah, so I mean, this does set up for a kill on turn 3. Now, obviously, super unlikely that there's no interaction.
Oop. Oh wait, counter the Shadow Spear with the annul. Okay.
Okay, sure. That's.
I think Nathan's pretty okay with that.
Yeah, Nathan's very happy with that, especially with the aid in hand.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Little, maybe a little aggressive from Anthony, but if you don't have anything else to do, I get the argument. But I think it probably is a little better to sandbag that to hit an aid or a hammer that could potentially be gotten off like a Stoneforge Mystic or something.
Inkmoth Nexus. Oh, do we not have white mana?
Interesting, but we might not need. Oh, we can't. Yeah, we can't play the aid with no white mana. I guess we might just be getting a drum next.
Just casting a hammer. That's very interesting.
Going on here? Okay.
Huh.
Why? I'm trying to figure out why we're doing this. Pure Steel in hand, probably. Is there Pure Steel in hand?
I don't think I saw one.
Okay.
This is interesting.
Just wanting to use the mana, I suppose. All right. Well. I don't know.
Yeah, I see Steel Shapers.
Steel Shapers, aid.
And one other. I can't tell what the last card is.
Yeah. Honestly, probably a hand that Nathan maybe should have gone to 5. Hand really not developing, unfortunately.
We need a white source here.
Maybe we go get. I guess we
float. I think you
get
the drum.
We go get drum. We can animate Inkmoth off the floating mana to get a white mana. That's not legal. Let's go ahead.
Target.
Let's go ahead and put that back in the deck.
You put that in confidently. Hopefully, he's been doing that all day.
Well, the good news is he's not top 8ing, so it doesn't matter that much.
Nope.
I don't know if this event pays out to top 16 though. So, But yeah, let's get that corrected. Whatever. If you haven't played a lot of Hammer, you can easily miss this interaction.
Yeah, if you've never played with Saga before, just like, oh, 1 mana artifact.
Yep, super easy to miss.
Happens all the time.
All right, yep, let's bag it up. Get an actual legal target.
Imagine we grab Springleaf Drum.
Yeah, assuming it's still in the deck. Okay, it's an Ornithopter.
Okay.
All right, whatever. Yeah, I don't think really the decisions are going to matter too much here from Nathan. I think this game is kind of gone, to be honest. I'd be shocked if he was able to come back.
So far behind.
Yeah, the no white source.
Unless we have a plains for turn.
Yeah, that could maybe do something. Could at least make the game interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, this has been kind of a disastrous start. High five from the players.
Hell yeah, we'd love to see it. Let's go. We'd love to see it.
All right. Okay. Is there a fetch in here? No, it doesn't look like it. No. Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a pass back. It's gonna be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Using the mana to animate. This is ballsy.
That is ambitious.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, dead. No.
Oh, my lands. Where'd they go? All right. Well, they're gone. One had to sack itself. The other one got bolted, and we got to seek the beast.
And he drew that Saga on turn 1.
One thing to note here: small misstep, but I do think it was a slight misstep here from Sutton. A really tricky thing with Seek the Beast is like knowing when to cast it. If we would have, So had we cast the Seek the Beast,
we get to keep the bolt.
We could have kept the bolt in hand. Yep. We could have heated the Ink Moth, and then we could have also heated the Ornithopter. We would have gotten full value. Now we are not getting full value off the Seek the Beast. This should have been a 3-for-1, but instead it's only going to be a 2-for-1. Now the good news is, who cares? We're going to win the game anyway. But just if you're somebody who is looking to pick up this deck, that's an important thing to notice. You always want to try and put yourself in positions to get max value out of your Seek the Beast. This is why this card is like pretty broken, in my opinion. I think this card is super good. I think it's going to change a lot of decks and a lot of formats as people start adding it to new stuff. But regardless, okay.
And explosives.
Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
Looks like it's on.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yep. Now I'm okay. So we played it on 1, but we tapped 2 lands. Whatever. Sure.
Oh, we're doing plains.
That's pretty good. I mean, we at least get to play.
It's not like Sutton doesn't have a ton of pressure in play. He's not doing anything.
All right, now we get to
now we can go play the Questing Druid.
Put the Questing Druid down. Yep. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? We should have a Bolt in our hand still, which would be really important with Questing Druid. You can grow it, you can deal with the next threat, all these things. So hopefully that will not come back to bite Anthony. But a good learning experience for people that are maybe trying to pick up the Questing Druid decks.
If you have a play you know you're going to make, but you have a draw spell in hand or something like that, just cast a draw spell.
Especially when it is a draw spell that you don't permanently get to keep.
Especially that.
When you're playing like impulse effects, you gotta really, really try and set yourself up to always get maximum value on those cards. It's like really important with the Pia deck too, and you're like how to time your reckless impulses can be really important.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's best to wait for your opponent to put a threat into play. So if you had a Chain to the Rocks, you can Chain to the Rocks, the creature type stuff. Okay. There's the Questing Druid. Untap here from Nathan.
They're plains.
Okay. Well, we are kind of gaming.
All right.
Kind of gaming.
Kind of gaming. What's in Anthony's hand, but what is
that's a Sanctifier in Vec. Okay. It's going to meet a spell snare.
Okay. I have never seen that.
Let's trigger the Druid. Counter over there. Seems pretty good. Good. Yep. And now we get to kind of start beating down.
Yep. If you draw any.
This EE is so brutal too, because it's going to at least blow up the 2/1 drops that are already in play.
Yeah. He could just activate it right now and it's backbreaking. And
so what is this? EI trigger. Yep. All right. Well, now things kind of snowball. Anthony. Now just going to take over. Another blue card there.
Now with this deck having Seek the Beast, EI, and Preordain. It just sees a
It
million cards.
It doesn't run out of cards.
No,
I mean,
once
if it keeps like all 8 of those in the deck, it's super good at grinding. It can even grind through like in up the beanstalk sometimes, which is pretty crazy.
Once you see one of them, you just keep finding more.
Yeah, this deck's ability to grind has gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
which is cool.
And its pressure's a lot better too, because the Questing Druid. Like,
yep, exactly.
It's got this card just made this deck so much better.
Yep.
The E on 0, why not?
Yeah, why not? It's free. It can beat an Urza Saga later if we need to do that. So we just need to be sure that we pop the EE on 1 before we ever pop the EE on 0. Because if we were to pop the EE on 0, it would blow up the EE on 1, and that could be disastrous. But I don't think that's going to matter this game.
No.
And Anthony probably will hopefully see that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to end up being relevant anyway, to be honest. I think this is kind of just Anthony's just going to run away. Okay, just thinking about how to sequence. Just definitely want to cast spells that make sense to cast so we can grow this Questing Druid, get in more damage.
Yep.
But it's possible all our spells are just interactive. If that's the case, we're just getting in for 3.
Just making sure he doesn't lose this game somehow.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible, but yeah, just need to not do anything silly. All right. Ryu.
Take it slow. No reason to No reason to rush.
Yep.
Another Seek the Beast.
Oh yeah,
I can't see it, but I assume
it's another.
Yeah, we're seeking the beast, baby.
Oh,
oh my goodness!
Woo! Trigger that. Basically a 4-for-1. Grew my guy. Hit a Preordain. Hit the land. Gets to be another threat. We don't need it at this point. This one's going to be more than. All right. Well, we played the land from hand. Who cares? It's just totally irrelevant. But again, if you're new to playing Questing Druid, typically want to get as much value out of this card as you can. So doing this play didn't quite do that, but whatever. Doesn't matter in this game. But again, something to just kind of notice.
Who knew that just slapping an impulse on a Korean Dryad would make a heinous Magic card?
Yeah. Instant speed, nonetheless.
Yeah,
too,
instant speed is what really does the card.
Which is pretty. There are a lot of games I've played online where I actually just do it on my end step to play around counter magic.
Oh, sure.
So if my opponent's like tapped out, or if they're playing Phoenix and go for a consider or an opt and they don't have Pierce up anymore, I'm like, okay, I'll seek on my end step. You're not countering this. And I'm going to get my 3. Yeah, exactly. So again, if you're new to playing Questing Druid / Seek the Beast, a play pattern you might want to be aware of. Pretty good stuff. Okay, and I like this from Anthony. He did leave the Ragavans in, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Always a fan of seeing people leave that card in their deck. I think a lot of people board it out a little too hastily, not really realizing how good it actually is.
Yeah, the card's heinous.
It's so good.
It's so ridiculous.
Especially on the play. It's just always like it's one of the most scary things your opponent can do on turn 1 in Modern. It's just play a Ragavan. Never what I want to see.
No.
Like, even if you have the Bowmaster, like, sometimes it's just not good enough. Like, with these decks playing Spell Snare now, and Counterspell, there's no guarantee that Bowmaster's resolving. And if it doesn't resolve, you're going to hit more, and it's just things just spiral really out of control.
Hit cards off of your
multiple
deck.
Lotus Petals. Yeah, they get the cards off your deck.
We saw it earlier today. Hit a Blood Moon off of the Scam deck, and that Scam player lost to their own Blood Moon.
That's brutal.
They just had 1 swamp and 4 double black cards in hand.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. That is pretty gross.
Good old Ragavan. Found a Giver of Runes.
Probably ain't gonna do it.
No, I'm gonna counter it.
Counter spell.
Nice creature.
Yeah, see you later. Let's put a counter on my Druid. Doesn't matter. All right,
it's
screw
lethal.
it. I don't need the counter.
Who needs it?
Who needs it? You're at 6.
There we go.
We're gonna put it on anyway.
I wanted Xaxes. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think this is just attack for lethal win game.
Yep, well, we could pop the EE for 1 just for BM. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? No, we get to dash the monkey.
Ooh, dash Ragavan and
trigger our guy.
And now we can pop the EE.
That's good sportsmanship. Put a counter on your guy.
Yeah.
All right, I'll die.
Both of
on to the next game.
All right, game 3.
Yeah, okay, so now The board plan may change a little. Now you could, I think, porting Ragavan out makes more sense given that we're on the draw, but it still might not be
Still
right.
probably fine.
Yeah. We'll see if players change. It looks like they're both just shuffling up and going to resubmit. So
because I don't think Nathan's playing Mem Knights. Is he in his deck?
No.
Okay, so yeah, Ragavan's a lot better than obviously.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
definitely keeping the Ragavan.
It was just like, yeah, I mean, hitting, and we've seen that Nathan has kept in Ornithopter. That's actually a really good hit on Monkey a lot of the time. It's free.
Yeah,
it's a colorless blocker.
It's a free body.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, but I will say I'm happy I've gotten to at least commentate one of these Murktide matches. I did want to see
this
the
deck's
stack.
looking pretty good. I've been pretty down on the format like you have, but this deck's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would have actually enjoyed. I willingly played the prelim on Monday because I saw this deck.
Yeah.
And then
Questing Druid seems like a very fun card to play with.
Yeah. Actually a fun deck of cards, which is just
hard to come by.
Not what you can say about
hard
almost
to come by
any modern deck, in my opinion.
I agree. And I played Tron, and I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean,
that ain't fun. No, not for everybody.
No, but it gets the job done. Same with Scam.
Yeah,
Scam.
Unfortunately,
all the decks that win. I mean, they're powerful. They're
good for a reason.
You play them because you kind of have to. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, this Murktide deck is nice.
Yeah,
it's
just good clean magic.
Thinking man's magic. Yep.
Yep.
And the more cards that get added to this that are like super powerful, like the Seek the Beast, the closer and closer this deck gets to Legacy Delver, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's also a very fun deck to play, and also a very good deck. Obviously, it's been really good in Legacy for a long time. Okay, turn 1 Sigarda's Aid, pretty good. Pretty good.
A little spooky. No Ornithopter, so it's not like super spooky.
At least nice, yeah. We're okay, and we're leaving up a mana. That's good. So we're not going to get like Esper Sentinel hammered. Hopefully,
no, we're not going to get right out of this.
There is a Saga in hand over there. It's concerning.
Saga's a little scary.
Maybe we have the Alpine Moon chilling out.
That'd be
cool.
insane.
It would be. Dress down would be like okay too. Right? Do we have the spell snare?
I believe I saw a spell snare.
Yeah. It could get Stern Scolding as well, which would be great. What was that? What was that?
Whoa, yeah. Well, we didn't cast that thing.
Was that a Sanctifier?
I think it's a Sanctifier. We couldn't have.
We should probably pause. Yeah, we should probably pause the match here. Yeah. Okay, and I think we've caught it.
This is not a Sanctifier.
Yeah, we might be idiots.
I've never seen that art before.
It looks like a Sanctifier to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
I guess I can look up Sanctifier arts.
Yeah, I mean it really I believe
I have to imagine it is. I don't know what other card in this deck it could be.
Yep. We could be wrong, but okay, maybe we're wrong. They're just continuing to play, so we're probably just morons.
Sure.
Maybe it was Stoneforge. I don't know. All right.
Heard it's Stoneforge. All right. We're idiots.
We're morons.
I've never seen that art before. I was like, I didn't think Sanctifier had a secret layer art.
The classic secret lair art got us.
Yeah, the classic one of the 500 artworks they release every week that we haven't seen.
All right, well, we're all good to continue.
All right, yeah. Right. Did Anthony? Oh no, I thought he missed a land for a second.
Nope.
He's fetching in the end step.
Okay.
No Seek the Beast.
Nope. I think if I'm Anthony and I have like more land drops, I'm pretty happy to hold the Seek right now anyway.
Yeah.
I would be patient with it. You don't have anything to interact with right now, so hitting like heats, bolts doesn't do anything.
Even the counter, yeah, it's all pretty bad to hit.
Waiting is wise.
And you can pretty safely assume a heat would hit something because like he's gonna make a construct.
He's gonna constructs are gonna get made. We're gonna be able to interact. So as long as we have land drops and don't need to like seek into land drop,
yeah,
totally cool to just
chill,
do nothing and seek later. Another thing about impulse effects is typically they are the best when you have more mana. So if you can wait on them, you typically should. Tricky cards to play with, but okay, what do we got here? A dress down would be absurd if we could like on Nathan's turn, if Nathan like makes another construct, we just dress down, draw a card, blow up your things, disgusting. Would be incredible. Nathan
we're
is
gonna
going to
make
make a
another
thing.
construct.
All right. Well, dress down here would be, like I said, incredible. And I'm thinking that Anthony may have it. Come on, baby. Oh, no, maybe 1-for-1 burn spell. All right. All right, that's fine. I get a little unholy heat action. Get that first one out here. We'll make a new one. Then we get the tutor something. See what he gets. We do have a Sigarda's Aid, right?
So
we
it could be a hammer.
Yeah, all right. It's a little awkward if we don't have another burn spell, because then we may have jumped the gun on the burn spell because it does have to target. So we could have waited and killed the thing. Well, we don't have delirium though. That's the trick. That's the tricky part is we needed. Yeah, it's never mind. We couldn't wait. We couldn't wait because we don't have delirium.
Because
it's a 3/3. So unfortunately for Anthony, he had to do it this way. No options. Asking questions about how all this works.
Yep.
Probably just making sure he can respond with a burn spell in response to the equip. And one thing he could be doing too, this would be really high level. He could just be asking questions about if he could interact with no interaction in hand to try and make his opponent think he has interaction,
and he gets
to maybe make him second guess the hammer.
Gets like a drum or something. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sneaky, but definitely something he could do.
Yep, absolutely.
See what we get. I still think I'm Nathan. I'm trying to get the hammer and just making him have it. Yep. And that's what he's going to do.
He agrees.
Yep. Try and equip. Does Anthony have anything? He does not. Oh, maybe he does. 1 mana. Oh, yeah.
Right. Woo! Nice. We continue playing the game.
Good stuff.
Now, what really sucks... Oh, no. Well, it doesn't have a creature in place. We can't just play Landlord Hammer. Where does Nathan go from here? Hopefully there's a land. Let's get another Urza Saga, actually. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Alpine Moon, please.
Yep. Alpine Moon is very good here.
Dress down, please. Those would be pretty good.
Yeah, any card that can attempt to trade favorably with this
Urza Saga. Yep. Not an easy one to trade favorably with.
No. Sagas are always, as we learned from Fable the Mirror Breaker, can't trade with these things effectively.
Nope.
It's just so hard.
Yep.
Especially with Saga being a land.
Yeah, the literal best way to interact with Fable is just like a 2-mana counterspell in most formats. Spell Pierce in some, but it's about the only way you trade reasonably with it. Thoughtseize is a little, it's fine, but you're down life and down tempo, so not the best answer to it, but still fine. But you really, the best way to answer a Fable is just counter on the stack with a cheaper spell.
Yep. And you can't do that with Saga. It is
no, you cannot.
Land.
No, you cannot.
Dashing Ragavan hit another Saga off the top.
Thank God.
Woo, boy.
Dodged
another bullet there.
The treasure is pretty meaningful, too. Getting more mana means we can, like, hardcast Furies now and things like that. So it looks like we have a treasure off screen there, maybe.
Yeah, it's slightly off screen.
Yeah. I typically like putting my treasures in my lands. I don't know if that's usually where I like to put them. It's nice and easy for everybody to see, and basically what they do is just sack for mana, right? So it kind of makes sense to put them there. Yeah. Whatever though.
Let's see, Gingerbrute. Woo! All right.
The hasty boy. Quick, we got to bring Mr. Wolthuis in. It's his card.
Tag him in real quick.
That's his card.
The boy himself
might win the match too. Who knows?
Yeah,
it's looking pretty real here. It's something we definitely need to probably interact with.
And we've put a ton of removal spells into these construct tokens. So
okay,
won you.
I'm wondering here if Anthony may have the dress down because he paused, saying "Hold on," but he probably wants to wait on the dress down until after the saga gets used. Okay, untap, draw. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Land, we're getting a little flooded here. Anthony,
I'm a little surprised we didn't fetch the breeding pool in the end stuff.
I am too. Definitely a spot where you want to thin.
All right, Dash Ragavan.
Dash Ragavan, attack.
Attack into
opponent is going to make a construct.
We have to.
Probably have a dress down, but like, I don't even think it's good to play yet, right? Because then we don't even get a monkey trigger.
Huh. This is interesting.
Maybe you're just baiting them into doing it, blocking, and then see if they do it again, waste all their mana. It's tricky though because now the brood can just hold the hammer we get. Okay. Oh, you know what? We could have a fury.
Oh, yeah.
We could have a fury, right? That would
Fury
make sense.
could be really good here.
Fury would be nice. It'd kill both.
Yep.
And unfortunately
We're passing. Oh,
Okay.
no. So, okay.
I think he likely has the dress down and is just waiting. Maybe didn't see
He
that.
did not make, he very quickly did not make a construct.
Okay.
So
I think that's smart.
notable.
I think that's smart, honestly. I
Mhm.
don't know that I would make one here either. It really feels like the opponent has
Yeah, it just reeks of a dress down.
reeks of a dress down indeed. So why spend mana on it when we can just float
Yep.
and
Get a hammer.
throw on
Made
Mr.
it clear
Brood.
he has a second hammer and a stick. And that's the match.
Okay.
Just random removal in the end. It looks like.
And I don't know what was. I assume just lands.
Yeah,
in
maybe
Anthony's hand.
yeah.
I thought I saw
maybe a
Questing
counter
Druid,
spell.
but probably
Ginger
impossible.
Brew, let's
Yeah.
go!
Yeah, and there he is.
There he is indeed.
All right.
I was live there. I had to see the Ginger Brew take it.
And our backup match is already finished. So
Yeah, so now just gonna wait on top.
yeah,
starting.
that's the end of Swiss.
There's 2 Burn, 2 Tron, Amulet Titan, and other stuff.
Cool. It might be a long top 8 then.
True.
Awesome.
Is there any scam? Any scams make it?
I have to imagine there's at least.
I would
one.
imagine too, but
yeah, no, we
Never know.
will be back whenever
Affinity.
as soon as top 8 starts. Affinities in top 8. Let's
So
go.
there's 2 unknowns.
Sweet. Yeah. So that's the end of Swiss. Thank you guys for hanging out with us so far. If you're going to stay to watch top 8, it'd be greatly appreciated. We will be back relatively soon. Probably like 15, 20 minutes. We'll see.
sounds good.
Yeah, no, we will be back.